So what we're going to do, I have this big brush. Let's see. It's a 3/4. Oh, you can't see this. Okay. It's a 3/4 inch royal. It's a flat brush. It's a soft one. You don't want a stiff one. You want a soft one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sepia and have your salt ready. Have the salt, whichever salt it is you want to use for the background. Have that ready because we'll be doing that. Okay, so I'm going to take the sepia and I'm going to stop at the middle of her head. I'm going to do one side at a time. Okay, so I've got the sepia. We're going to put it on. It doesn't matter if it gets into her hair. It's not really a big deal if it gets into her dress. Just don't get it on her neck and her skin. Okay? And we're going to keep it as wet as we can. Okay, and then I'm going to add some of the phthalo turquoise. And you can add as much or as little as you want. I like that it's not all the same all over. Okay, so for the salt, I'm going to put some in my hands and I'm going to sort of make a line where I would have wings, and then I'm going to just drop some down the side. Not all the way down, just a little ways. Okay? So that side's done. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and keep going and do the other side. And the reason I don't do it all at the same time is because it dries too fast. Since it's such a small bit up here, it's not that big a deal. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the sepia and do this side. And my sepia is kind of old and crumbly, so that's why I've got the lines, the little lines in there. Okay, and it's okay if your color looks a little uneven. It's not that big a deal. Maybe I need a little more. Okay, so then I'm going to add the turquoise. Alright, and then my salt. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then we will come back and work on finishing her face. Okay, I think the salt is mostly dry. This, you can see it's a little wet. If it is wet, it can smear, so just be careful. So I'm just wiping this off. Sometimes it gets stuck and you have to push a little bit harder to roll them off. Okay, so That looks pretty good. The wings I'll have to just fix with my little scrolls. I didn't go up as high. I wasn't really paying attention. You could go up higher with your salt if you want to make them go up higher. Not too big a deal. Mine will just be a little shorter. Okay, so next I think I'm going to work on the hair. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. I think I have some salt. There we go. I'm going to zoom in for the hair. I'm going to use, you could use this or a smaller one. This is a 1/2 inch. It's got a chisel tip. I'm going to use the sepia. And I'm going to paint her hair in. And this is just the first base layer, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and we'll do this side. I'll go back in and fix that with a different brush. I just want to get most of the color on with the flat brush. Plus, it kind of has makes the lines like the hair. Probably could come out a little further. The other side's a little wider. Okay. Okay, so next I'm going to take my number 4 round brush, and with the sepia I'm going to start going from the edges and up. Oh, can you see that? And I'm not worried about the bottom being super straight. I don't want to get it on her face though. I think I'll go around her face and fill in that. And I'm just trying to keep my brush going up and down, not sideways, except for around her face there. Okay, I'll go ahead and do the other side. I'm trying to be careful not to go inside the face. Okay, so I'm gonna go on this side and bring it up. Just be careful not to go past the top of her head. Okay. And try to go with the flow of the hair down that way. I think I'm going to turn it over, see where I'm at. Grab some more of the sepia. And just pulling lines up, back and, or keep dragging them up. Okay, and I'm gonna try to pull from the top. Got a little bit of a line there. I'm gonna try to straighten that out. And I'm just gonna pull down from the top. Actually, it doesn't look like I did that on the other one. Oh well. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna work at the bottom of the bangs a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let her hair dry and then we'll work on something else. Okay, so I think next I'm going to work on the face. We'll try to finish that up. So I'm going to take the sepia again. And I'm going to work on the eyes. I'm going to add the pupils. And I have my number 4. And then I'm going to drag some of that down the eye there. Okay, and same on this one. I'm going to drag it. You could use a smaller brush if you feel more comfortable doing that. I'm just using the very tip of my brush. Do our eyelids. And I'm going to fix this a little bit. Okay, I'll let that dry a little bit. And we'll give her some eyebrows. I'm going to use the same color, the sepia. Okay. I'm gonna add a little more. Maybe a little under her lip, and her nostrils, her nose. All right. So I've wet my brush. I've pulled all the water out. I'm gonna try to pull a little bit of that over to the side there, making some lines. See if you can see that. I pulled some lines in. Okay, then I can take the sepia again and fill that in. I'm going to go back in with black and darken that part up. All right. Let's see. This one looks a little bigger. All right. I'm gonna try those. Okay, so next I'm going to, I think we'll do the dress. It looks so bright on the screen. I'm gonna close the window a little bit. Okay, that's better. Okay, so for the dress, we're going to use Caroline Violet. You could do any color you want, but that's the color I used on the other one, and I like it. So I'm going to take my big brush, the 3/4 flat brush. Maybe I'll add some water to that. Whoops. All right. And I'm going to just brush it on there. And I want it quite a bit darker than this, so just keep adding color. And more water. We'll be salting this, so have your salt ready. I'll have to fix that. Alright, so I'm going to take my salt and I'm going to have it heavier at the top and then a little lighter as it goes down. Okay, so we will let that dry and then we will finish up the details. Okay, I think that's pretty dry, so I'll start moving the salt off, make sure there isn't any that's going to smear. I'm going to have to vacuum today. Okay. Alright, so next we'll start doing some details with black and white. You can see there's a huge difference between these two when you start adding details. It makes a big difference, especially in their little faces. Okay, so I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take this the black Posca pen. It's the smallest. It says 0.24 on there. Okay, and then I'm gonna make some lines, and I'll probably wipe some out with my fingers. Just make sure you don't smear it on their face. And I'm just flicking it up. Okay, I'm going to turn it this way. And smooth that out a little bit. Okay, now I don't want a ton of that on there. I'm going to go ahead and fill in her pupil, and I don't fill all the way in this the dark spot. See the dark spot that I've made with the sepia. I only do part of it, so it looks like shading. Okay, and then I'm going to take my micron pen. This is a 1. I may adjust it. Make sure it works. Okay. And I'm going to come around and make some lines. Oh, that's a little uneven. That's okay. I'm just lightly pushing on that. I think I'll make some lines in there. Okay, so I'll do the other one. My pen keeps picking up the watercolor, and so it stops working. So I'm color on my desk or a separate piece of paper to pick up some of the watercolor off of it, so it works. Okay, so making the lines. All right, and then slightly going under. I'm gonna fill in her eyebrows a little bit. Okay, and then her nose. I think I'll get my smaller one. Let's see. I'm going to use the 005. Make sure that works, yeah. And we'll go under her lips. Maybe a little bit in here. Okay, and then a little bit for the eyelid. And I'll do the eyelashes later. We'll go in, and oh, this is a number 2. You can use what you have, but you just have to be mindful of how hard you're pushing and whatever, depending on the size you pick. Okay, so going around the face. And sorry about my dog. He is wanting to bark all day today. Okay. And I'm going to go around her neck. Okay. Oh, I probably should zoom out a little bit. Hopefully I got all that on the camera. Okay. I'm probably going to add some, maybe I need a bigger one. And this is, oh, that one's not working. Okay, so just use my 08 and make some more lines in there. They're not as dark or as thick as the Posca pen. Alright, so I'm going to take, let's see, we'll take the number 2 and we'll make some lines outside the hair. And same on this one. Okay. Oh gosh. I think I want to make it darker inside this line. So I'm going to take my number 4 round again. And I think I'll use some black. It's, which one is it? Ivory black. Fill that in a little bit. Okay, and then we'll do this side. I'm going to turn it upside down. Careful not to cut the face off. I just kind of did that. Okay. I'm going to drag a little bit of that color under her chin there. Okay. I feel like she needs a little bit more shading, so I'm going to take the tinted, what's it called? Neutral tint, and shade her face a little bit more. And I'll go under the hairline a little more. All right. Next. Oh. Gotta do. I think I'll darken this up a little bit. And we'll go around her dress. Yeah, I think that's kind of too dark. Let me see. No, that's all right. I did it on one side, I'm going to do it on the other. Whoop, my hands are wet. Okay. So instead of using this, you could use the micron pen, maybe the larger micron pen, and it won't be such a hard dark line. I'm going to go over that again with the wet brush, just over the line. Kind of smooths it out a little bit so it's not so dark. Okay. All right, so next we'll give her some eyelashes, and with that I'm going to use the 005. And we're just gonna, they're not gonna go straight up and down unless you want Raggedy Ann type eyelashes. You're gonna kind of curve it up. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just curving it, curving it. And do the other side. And then I'll thicken that line up a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to give her a couple bottom ones. If I can get this to work. There we go. And I just give them at the ends. Okay, I don't know why that's so dark or so bright. Okay, so last we're gonna do the white details. On the other one, I gave her a halo. You can or don't have to, it's up to you. I used this top of a almond can to add that, but her head is quite a bit bigger than this one. At least her hair is. So, what do I use? I will be back with that. Okay. Alright, I found a stencil. And this one is from iDots All, I don't know what it says, maybe Art Crafters Workshop. Anyway, if you just found something round and big enough to put on her head, you could stick it on there. Alright, so I've got it centered on there, and it's, I think I'm gonna go out to either this one, or this one. Okay, so I'm just gonna start filling in the dots. And I'm going to fast forward through this so you don't have to see this. Hurry up. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to take my gesso now. I use Professional Liquitex gesso. I like it better than the other ones. And I put some in my palette. I'm going to take the end of my brush and dip it in. And I'm just going to, let's see. Just going to add a little dot to each of these stenciled dots to give it dimension. You'll be able to feel it because it will dry just as it is with the texture. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward through that too. Texture. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward through that too. Alright, that looks good. So before I do any more of that kind of stuff, I'm going to take my Posca pen and try not to make sure you don't touch that when you're working on anything else. I'm going to make the highlights in the eye. Tiny spot over there. And I'm going to make a highlight in this one. And a tiny spot over there. And then I think I'll add some to the lips, and I just add some little lines. Okay. And then last we will add the little dots to her shirt. Oh, no, we still need to do the wings too. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and add some dots around her collar line there. Okay. And then again with my white Posca, and this is again the smallest, well, this says a 0.1, which is different than what this says. They're supposed to be the same size though. Okay, so just like on this, I'm going to draw these scroll lines, and then I'm going to go over them. I'm going to draw them with the Posca, and then I'm going to go over them with the gesso, just to make them a little thicker and brighter. Okay, so I'm going to start about here, and you're going to make your scroll, and then come off here and make another scroll, and then do that little scroll there. Same on this side. And they're not going to be even. Mine are never even. Okay. Oh, you didn't see the other side. Well, I'll paint it in, you'll see it. Alright, so for this, I'm going to use a rigger brush. And it's just a long, skinny detail brush. This says a 5/0, but some of them say rigger. This is what I'm going to use. I'm going to dip it in the white gesso. And I think I'll do this side first. I don't know if you can see that. Got a tight space here with the camera, so I'm trying to make room. Alright. I'm just going to go around. You want to hold it as close as you can to the end so you have control. Okay. And then again. And I've got to add more to my brush. And then this last one. Ooh, that was close. I almost got her eyeball. Okay. So you're just following the lines. Alright, so that side's, you can see it's a little brighter. Okay, so we'll do this side. Now you could draw these with pencil first and make sure they look the way you want and then paint over them. That would be totally fine. Or you could, you know, find a scroll stencil or a stamp and stamp that on there too. Okay, I think she's done. This one is quite a bit lighter than the other one I did. You can see the background is much darker on this one. Even the dress looks darker to me, which makes me think I added sepia to the color, but maybe not. I might have just had a lot on there. But they're different, they're the same. You could make your background darker if you want, and then your wings will show up a little better, but they're both cute. They're done. I hope you guys like this lesson, and I cannot wait to see what you guys make. Thanks for watching.